Welcome to Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. Our show brings you closer to the heart of Texas A&M athletics through powerful stories of perseverance, purpose, and life-changing opportunities made possible by 12th Man Foundation donors. From student athletes and coaches to former students and dedicated staff, you'll hear firsthand how donor support shapes the lives of Aggie student athletes in competition and beyond. Whether you're a lifelong Aggie or simply curious about what makes Texas A&M so special, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. I'm your host, Ivy Robinson, and before I introduce our guest today, I'd like to remind current students of Texas A&M that ticket pull for the season opener versus UTSA begins Monday, August 18th at 8 a.m. for seniors and grad students. Juniors, don't forget you will pull on Tuesday, sophomores will pull on Wednesday, and freshmen on Thursday. Students without a sports pass may be able to purchase tickets, if available, starting at 8 a.m. on that Friday before each game week. So set those reminders, plan ahead if you want to pull with a group, and visit ticketpool.com so you'll be ready when it's your time to pull a ticket. If you have any questions, you can contact the 12th Man Foundation at 888-992-4443 or email tickets@12thmanfoundation.com. All right, without further ado, I'm thrilled to be joined in studio today by Texas A&M football student athlete Dametrious Crownover. Welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I know you've had some big life changes here recently. You got married. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, I got married on May 30th, so just a little bit ago. Everything went as smoothly as it could possibly go.
Good. Was the weather beautiful
day?
Weather
was great. It rained that morning.
Okay.
And then it had cooled down the rest of the day, so everything was good. Our cocktail hour was perfect. Everything was...
Oh, that's awesome.
My brother was our officiant. He officiated my whole wedding. I have 4 brothers, 1 sister. Yeah, so there's a lot of us.
Okay,
4
big
nephews
family.
And 1 niece. There is no such thing as a small family get-together. And if it's not all of us, it's all of us and some other family eating or doing something together. But yeah, I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. Everybody was in the wedding. But my brother officiated. Ernest was one of my grooms, and my youngest brother was my best man.
Oh, what a special, that's just so neat that your brother officiated the wedding. Okay, well, we've got to know the details. How did you and your wife meet?
Okay, so we used to play softball back at home. So she went to a school that was probably 10 minutes on the street, but she was best friends with one of my best friends. So she brought her to play softball with us one day, and she was just kind of just sitting there watching the game. So I was like, hey, why aren't you playing? And of course, she had Birkenstocks on, so she could not play. So we ended up, I think it was our first official meeting. I think we always knew of each other, but that was our first time we ever got to actually meet in person.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, we ended up just kind of talking, and now 6 years later, we got married.
Okay, where's home? Tell me about your hometown.
So it's Grandview, Texas. It's one red light. If you ever drove from here to Fort Worth, you drove through it, and it was probably 100 yards length of Kyle Field, and you saw some cornfields, a Subway, and a few gas stations. And then you were like, what a small town, and just kept driving.
That sounds like where I'm from. Grandview, tell me about just your childhood in Grandview, what it was like growing up there, and then tell me when you first got into sports.
Okay. So growing up in Grandview, small town, I had a graduating class of 85 kids. So there wasn't anything going on in Grandview that everybody didn't know about. So if one thing happened over here, by the time you got it back across town, everybody in town knew about it. It was fun. I grew up on a block with probably 15 cousins. So we all got together, did stuff, played tag, hide and seek, the whole shebang. Growing up with 4 brothers, if you didn't learn how to talk young, you weren't getting any words out. Nobody was going to hear. But Grandview itself, it's a 3A. We ended up winning state my sophomore and junior year. First time in Grandview history, we ended up winning state. It's a big thing. Ended up getting some offers after my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. Congrats. To be a state champion, that's incredible.
It was a little once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure. In the moment, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But now that I look back, it's like, wow, we really did something that might not ever happen there again.
Right.
Or might not ever happen for a long time again.
Congrats to y'all. This is so random, but Grandview, aren't y'all the zebras?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know why that popped back in my head, but
there was a huge poll actually going on Twitter at one point in time for the best high school mascots. And
did y'all win?
I think we ended up winning. It was us and the Hippos. I think we're the last qualifiers.
Oh, yeah. Is that Hutto?
Yeah, the Hutto Hippos. And we ended up beating out the Hutto Hippos for the best mascot in Texas. Yeah, we have black and white striped helmets with either a white or black jersey.
Yeah. What's the story? Why the zebras, you know?
I have no idea, actually.
Is there some history of zebras being in?
I know
someone had some zebras in Grandview at some point. I don't know.
At some point, there was zebras in Grandview when I was actually just growing up. We had some people that owned some zebras, like owned a whole bunch of land. They had some zebras out there. But I think it was already because of the school mascot.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what started the Grandview Zebras.
Okay, so our awesome podcast producer, Megan Rohde, did a quick Google search, and AI is telling us that the Grandview Zebras mascot has a history rooted in the early 1900s. One theory suggests the mascot was chosen because the Grandview school's athletic teams wore striped uniforms reminiscent of zebras. And the Grandview school district officially adopted the zebra as their mascot in the early 1900s. So who knows if that's true? If anyone knows history out there, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Okay, Dametrious, you talked about your childhood and growing up. Was football the very first sport you started playing?
No. I started with basketball. I mean, I played football when I started playing basketball as well, but my sport that I always played AAU, basketball. Everything was going to be basketball. Like I said, we ended up winning state my sophomore and junior year and ended up getting a bunch of football offers. And I was like, well, might as well go play.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Yeah. Do you think after that state championship, it really like opened your eyes to, hey, I could continue football, obviously in college? And was that when you decided you wanted to go on and play in college and then beyond maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Because I tell people it was never really in my plan to go play college football. I was always going to go play basketball somewhere. And if I could make it to the league, make it to the league. If not, start coaching. But after, getting a few offers and starting to get bigger and bigger, then ended up winning state again the next year, it was just like, oh, okay, so I can really actually go play football somewhere and make something of this.
Tell me about that recruitment process and kind of when the offers started rolling in. What was that like for you? What was going through your mind during that time?
Going back, I was a very laid-back kid. It took a lot to excite me. So, like, getting recruited and stuff, it was cool. I got to talk to the coaches over the phone and all this stuff. And then that next year, I actually started taking visits. So it was starting to get more exciting. I got to come here, visit the school, watch a game, just have fun. It's a fun experience for sure. It was a lot, but it was definitely a fun experience.
And when did Texas A&M come onto your radar? Were you always interested in Texas A&M? Were they a top contender?
So my dad went to Baylor.
Oh,
my dad
okay.
actually went to Ranger and then ended up leaving Ranger and going to Baylor. He played at Baylor, ended up graduating, was going to go to the league, ended up hurting his back, had surgery.
He played football?
Yep. He was a defensive end.
Defensive end? Okay.
So then my sister ended up going to Baylor. So we were really a Baylor family at first. And then my sister ended up leaving Baylor, transferring out and coming to A&M to finish some school. And then Ernest, who played here, he went to West Point, left West Point, went to Kilgore, and left Kilgore and came here. So then, we slowly started bleeding maroon, as everybody would say. So then it honestly ended up being a perfect fit. So it's far enough from home where my parents couldn't just drive up and be like, hey, we're here. What are y'all doing? But close enough to home where if I need to get home for anything, I could get home. My brother was coming here. My sister came back to finish some school so she could get her teacher's degree. My now wife was coming here, and I love the coaching staff that was here. So it ended up just being a perfect fit, and everything ended up just coming together.
That's awesome. What a unique and special journey. I like how you said y'all slowly started bleeding maroon, and now y'all are all in, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What was your first recruitment visit to Texas A&M like? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. So the first time I ever came to a game, I could fall asleep anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I forgot to ask. I asked every student athlete a unique fact about themselves.
Yeah.
And okay, so you can just.
So I can fall asleep anywhere. Doesn't matter what's going on. Doesn't matter how many people are there. I can fall asleep anywhere. So we're sitting at this game, and I'm sitting first row. I'm right here in the first row of Kyle Field. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Cheering, game's going good, everything's going good. And I lay my hand on my head for like 30 seconants, and I'm out. I've passed out in the first row of this game. I'm knocked out. And I want to say it was my dad. My dad ended up looking over and saw me and woke me up. I was probably asleep for half a quarter. Yeah. I was knocked out for like half a quarter. Yeah, I'll forever remember it to this day. Forever remember it to this day.
Was he like slapping you like,
yeah,
wake up, son,
so he,
what are you doing?
Got into the game. Like, I was good. I was just sitting there watching the game.
You were just chill. You were just vibing. I mean, you were just
like, I just
you were at peace.
Yeah.
Right.
I just finished screaming, something big had happened, and then I sat down. I was out.
I was about to ask, I mean, surely the game wasn't that boring.
No, yeah, it was a good game. It ended up being a really good game.
Yeah,
it was. I want to say we ended up winning, but.
So what a interesting fun fact. You could fall asleep. I mean, have you fallen asleep in class?
Maybe,
he's not going to answer this question.
Maybe not. You know, everybody has those moments they doze off and wake up. I will say that.
Well, speaking of academics, you also recently graduated from Texas A&M.
Yes.
Tell us what that moment meant to you to finally earn that Aggie degree.
It meant a lot. You know, being one of the people in my family that graduated, got to walk the stage. So I want to say, 3, 4 of us have now. My dad, my brother, my other brother, and me. So it means a lot being able to say I got to graduate and just be in that group of people who graduated.
Mm-hmm. Now you're a part of that Aggie network.
Yes.
How have you balanced academics and athletics throughout your time at Texas A&M? Like, what's the key to being responsible and staying organized? Because that's a challenge, right? You've got 2 major responsibilities of school and practice. And, you know, when you're in season, you've got games. So,
yeah. So we, of course, have a lot of people upstairs that help us with everything. Shout out to my advisor, Mr. Mike McGee. I definitely would not be here without him. Also to Sam Weed and Wendy Wright, because they helped me through this is going in my 5th year that I've been here. Would not have made it through it without them. They've done a lot. But without the people upstairs, no athlete is getting through Texas A&M school by themselves.
mm-hmm. So y'all lean on those academic advisors, and they just, I mean, from what I've learned, they just help so much in terms of keeping y'all organized, reminding y'all about projects, and even like if y'all have a game coming up and there's a test and maybe there's some scheduling, with the athletes having scheduling conflicts, that academic advisor can step in and help talk to that professor.
Yeah, all of that actually. If you have a test and we have a game, they help out, they reach out, they'll help you make an email, they'll help you do whatever you can to make sure you get it done and everything goes good. Yeah, they're really there just to be a helping hand whenever you need them. So really appreciative.
What did you get your degree in?
Hospitality management.
That's awesome. Going back to, let's talk about the football staff, coaches, your teammates. Let's talk about Aggie football, the program in general. What makes Elko and his coaching staff special and unique, and how have they really helped you grow as an offensive lineman?
Coach Cushion came in and took over the room. Phenomenal coach. He knows a lot about the game. He loves the game. So his scheme of the game is unbelievable. His understanding of the game is unbelievable. he wants you to understand the game as well as he can, so the conversation just flows smoothly. Same with Coach Elko. Like, the knowledge that he's taught us of the game of football is amazing. Like, there's some stuff that I've been here 4 or 5 years that I've never known, that he was like, hey, like, this is, like, of course it was like always in the back of your head, but you never heard it out loud. So he brought that out and was like, hey, y'all have to understand this, so when the time comes, you know what to do. So I think that was one of the biggest things, like them coming in and explaining the game, like going back to the basics, like, hey, during a 2-minute drill, this is what you got to do, and this is how we're going to do it, because any other way, you risk losing the game. So I think that them coming in and doing that is what stood out to me.
Yeah, man, that's really neat to hear how they've kind of just broadened your perspective maybe and shown y'all things that you weren't thinking about previously. What's one thing about playing right tackle that you think most fans would never guess or most people don't know?
You're basically on an island by yourself 90% of the time. Same as left tackle. You're out there on the island 90% of the time, and it's you versus the person on the island.
And that's challenging. How do you stay steady and unwavering in that?
You have to have a winning mindset. You can't ever go out on a play and be like, oh man, I hope this goes good, or I hope this is the right way to go. Like, you have to know the plays, you have to know everything. So when you get on the field, it's just one solid motion, and you know what you're going to do, and you know how to beat the person in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Thinking back on last season, was there any specific game or moment that you were really proud of, or a specific offensive drive? Anything stand out to you?
The LSU game, the all black, when we came out, it was
nice.
It was a blast. Hands down, definitely one of the funnest games I've played in. But just the whole game in general, it was fun. Everything about the game was fun. Fans were bought in. Everybody was bought in. And we were like, we know we have to come out here and we have to win this game. So it ended up being a blast. I would say it's definitely the funnest game I've ever played. Fun drive-wise, any-wise. Like, just going out, it was a blast.
Yeah. I'm curious, have you experienced any adversity or challenges throughout your college career?
Yeah. So last year, my grandpa passed.
So sorry.
It's good. He lived a very long life. He lived a great life. I would say it was definitely the toughest challenge I've had in college, but it was good. Everything ended up being perfect. Like, he ended up living a good life. Everything was good. It was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But it was nice to know that, like, my teammates cared. Like, everybody reached out. Everybody was supportive. I had some donors reach out and just, hey, make sure I was okay. Everybody checked on me, so it was good.
I mean, that's incredible. You know, the culture here at Texas A&M, and it truly is a family. Can you speak a little bit more to just how grateful you are for the connections, and I mean, anyone specific that really just you leaned on during that time here, whether it was coaching staff or?
Yeah, definitely is a family. Like, I've met a bunch of people that genuinely care about what's going on in your life, and it's not just football. Like, I've had some donors ask and just say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And it's not just, they don't just ask about me. It's always like, hey, how are you in the family? How are you and my wife? Like, how's everything going? So it's always been good.
Yeah. Checking on you as a person, as an individual, and they truly care. Staying on that topic of donors and how they have supported you, you were also a 1922 Fund scholarship recipient. What was beneficial to you in terms of being able to meet 12 Man Foundation donors through the 1922 Fund, and what do you think you learned from those connections?
You learn a lot. They're a bunch of people who have succeeded in life that don't mind sharing details and helping you get, hopefully, one day to that point in life. They'll give you a business card and be like, hey, if you ever have any questions, call. And, it's honestly like football. It's not going to be easy. There won't be ever a time that you're just like, oh, let me sit down and relax. So if you want to get to the point that those people have gotten in their life to be able to help so many kids, so many athletes get to A&M and play football, it's work. Same as you step on the football field, it's work.
Mm-hmm.
So it means a lot knowing that they done all this and came back and able to give back to kids who honestly never would have probably got here without the scholarship.
Yeah.
And are able to come in and get a 4-year degree, get their bachelor's degree, and leave here not only being able to play football, but also being able to lean back and be like, hey, now I'm ready to work and I need a job. And, the Aggie network, and being like, hey, we have a place for you over here if you need work. So it's an honor to get able to sit in a room with those people and sit down and have a conversation with them and for them get to tell you about their story and how they made it.
Man, that is just awesome, Dametrious. Thank you for sharing that. These very individuals, they give back and support and contribute to provide the best resources possible for Aggie student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
From your perspective as a student athlete, what can you say about getting to utilize the facilities and the resources and programs?
Yeah, the people upstairs, the amazing cafeteria we have here that we just got built, it's phenomenal. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. Even going into the weight room and being able to work out and stuff, and you seeing the equipment that we get to use. Like I said, I came from a 3A. We had a huge barn with a bunch of workout material inside.
Mm-hmm.
So going from that to coming here, it was a major upgrade, but it's phenomenal. The facilities you get to walk around and be a part of and do stuff, it's great.
And really quickly, I want your perspective and thoughts on this era of name, image, and likeness. And can you maybe share really quickly how the ability to profit from your name, image, and likeness, your NIL, has personally impacted your life?
Yeah. Like we said, I recently got married. I never would have been able to do that if that wasn't a thing. I think it has its benefits, and I think it also can have its downsides. But I think it's a great thing that if you use it right and you manage your stuff right, it will help you in the long run.
Yeah. Have you made any meaningful connections through NIL opportunities?
Yeah. I mean, I've shook a lot of people's hands that I probably would have never shook. So it's just, like I said, it's great. Like you get to meet new people that you never thought you'd have been like, oh. And some people's hands you shake and you don't even know who they are. And comes to find out they're the owner of this big company and you just shook their hand with.
Wow. Yeah. So just getting to meet various people through that and beyond the financial gain, just the connections you're making has been valuable.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to ask this before we wrap up today. What can you tell us about this football team? Because obviously we had a lot of returners. You're a returner, but we've had some transfers come in and, we're getting close to the 2025 season, so everyone's excited. So what can you tell us so far about just this new team going into the season? What can Aggie football fans get excited about?
I think one thing is, like, we know we left it out on the field last year. Like, there were some games that we could have brought home that we left out there. And we've made it a mission. Like, we can't leave them out. This is like I said, this is my last year. It's a lot of people's last year to be able to say, hey, I played football for Texas A&M. So we know we have to go out there and we have a lot to prove. And that's our mission this year, is go out there and win. Because winning helps the team. Winning helps everybody get to the next level. So if we go out there and we do what we're supposed to do, we'll be good.
That's right. And Dametrious, why are you specifically proud to be an Aggie and wear the maroon and white?
I'm proud to be an Aggie because my little brother got in a car accident my junior year of high school. He would have been here playing beside me. So every day I get to wake up and I get to put on a uniform and I get to go out and I get to play football and he gets to come to my games. He gets to watch me play. So that is one of the most exciting things I ever get to do. And get to see him in the stands cheering me on is amazing. So my junior year of high school, like literally, I think I want to say it was our first day. It was our first day. We had a back to school party. Me and my now wife went and we're like, hey, we're going to Sonic, 10 minutes on the road. We'll be back I asked him if he wanted anything to drink. He's like, no, I'm good. He ended up actually texting me like, hey, I want a Sprite. And so got my drink, we got to Sonic. I get a phone call from my dad and everybody. My dad calls me and I answer. He's like, hey, you got to get home. Kobe was in a car accident. It's not good. Like, you need to get home. So they ended up spinning out, and his side of the truck hit a tree. So everything basically on his right side of his body was fractured. They ended up getting him out. They resuscitated him in the ambulance, flew him to the hospital. After they got him stable, he wasn't supposed to make it through that night. So like I said, Grandview's a small town. So as soon as everybody heard, we probably had over 300 people in the hospital.
Everybody comes together. They unite in tragedies like that. Yep.
We get to the hospital. They tell us what's going on. He ended up, his brain is swelling. So if they can keep his brain from overswelling and basically rupturing, he has a chance. But the likelihood of that happening wasn't high. So we basically stayed there all night. He made it through the night. And that's what the biggest thing they were worried about, ended up making it through the night. So they ended up putting him in a medically induced coma for, I want to say, a month, maybe a little longer. So ended up getting through all that. He ended up having aphasia, but now he's here at A&M. He attends Aggie Achieve program. He's doing way better. So
that is awesome.
He's doing good. Everything's okay. He can hold a conversation with you. He can tell you a story. So it's all I could have asked for.
Wow. And I mean, thank you for sharing that. And it's just, I can't even imagine the weight of that, your family and you, and just having to process all of that. And what you said, though, like, I think it's awesome that the community came together, to support God during that time. And then now that his story is getting to continue on at Texas A&M while you're here as a student athlete is just remarkable. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad y'all get to experience game days together.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah. All right, Dametrious, tell us your future goals beyond your time at Texas A&M. When that comes to an end, what are your goals beyond college?
Yeah, hopefully I get a chance to go play in NFL, do my time, have fun, be able to come out of the NFL and retire and just do what I want. If I got to choose to do what I want, I would train dogs and start a bowling team.
Whoa, what a cool combination. Train dogs and start a bowling team?
Yeah.
Okay, so you like to bowl.
Yeah, I do a lot of bowling. Actually, depending on what time I get out of here, I'm going to go bowl a few games before we have to come back for meetings.
That is awesome. How is bowling? How do you score in bowling again? Is it like the highest? How do you win?
So
okay, highest, yeah. 10
pins. You get 2 shots to throw the ball down and hit as many as you can.
So
if you hit them all on the first one, it's a strike. You clean them up on the second one, it's a spare.
Really quick, what's your highest score ever in bowling?
238. Perfect game is 300.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, Dametrious Crownover on Answering the Call podcast. Dametrious, thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your story.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Answering the Call. If you're enjoying the show, please rate and follow us on your podcast streaming platform of choice so you can be the first to know when a new episode drops. As always, a big thank you to our incredible podcast producer, Megan Rohde, to 12th Man Productions and Texas A&M Athletics NIL Department. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to every donor and season ticket holder for always answering the call through loyal support of Texas A&M Athletics and our student athletes. We will be back soon with more content. Thanks and gig 'em.